Hi, my name is Dominique and I'm with NAMI Wisconsin, the state office of the National Alliance on Mental Illness. NAMI Wisconsin oversees the Crisis Intervention Teams trainings, also known as CIT, which is funded by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services. CIT programs bring together community leaders and law enforcement personnel and work to divert individuals living with mental illness away from the criminal justice system. Diversion programs like CIT reduce arrests of people living with mental illness while simultaneously increasing connections with mental health services.
My name is Luke Hoffman, and I have been with Kenosha Police Department for nearly 20 years. When we used to go to these calls without this training, it was more about how do we solve whatever issue it is quickly and move on to the next call, regardless if that means another officer has to come back out an hour later to deal with it, or the same individual, or the next day, or even a week later. Now it's with patience and trying to help this person get through whatever it is that they're going through, and to try to get them the resources that they need for whatever's going on currently in their life.
CIT training provides officers with more tools to do their job safely and effectively. Research shows that CIT is associated with improved officer attitude and knowledge about mental illness. In Memphis, for example, CIT resulted in an 80% reduction of officer injuries during mental health crisis calls.
I'm Sergeant Ali Raza Govani with the Brown Deer Police Department. I think there was a stigma that was placed on people or individuals that suffer from mental health issues, that sometimes they could be sporadic and sometimes violent. And going through that training kind of opened up my eyes to see that there's various different people of different walks of life that are looking for help more than anything.
CIT training also helps to keep law enforcement's focus on crime by reducing the time officers spend responding to mental health calls, putting officers back into the field more quickly. Additionally, CIT training also saves communities and departments money. It is difficult to estimate just how much diversion programs can save communities, but incarceration is costly compared to community-based treatment. In addition, departments also save money as CIT-trained officers are more likely to use verbal de-escalation skills compared to non-CIT trained officers.
With counseling services, healthcare providers, doctors, pharmacists, all those things has worked together. The training, a lot of people are behind it because it saves time and it saves money, but more importantly, it saves the person that we're dealing with.
Overall, CIT training is important as officers learn crucial skills to effectively de-escalate mental health situations. It leads to officers being able to spend less time on mental health calls and get back into the field quickly. It also improves officers' attitudes and empathy toward individuals living with mental illness, and saves communities and departments money by focusing on treatment over arrests.
My name is Bob Hagan. I retired with the City of Delafield Police Department in 2022. I was captain on the department when I retired. Currently, I am the Crisis Training Supervisor for NAMI Southeast Wisconsin. What I've seen is officers taking more time and exploring more options rather than just what do we got to do to get through this one and get to the next call. They're really starting to take more time and look at more resources and more options in the community to help people in crisis.
I'm Kayla. I'm the mental health corresponder that's embedded in the Oshkosh Police Department. I'm an employee of the Winnebago County crisis team, and I've been doing crisis work for about 7 years now. I think that it's created more community trust with our officers. The community feels more comfortable coming to different officers when they know that they have CIT officers that are available. We've had specific people ask for CIT officers. I think it's helpful just for the community to have options of people that might be more understanding.
What is CIT training? CIT is a community initiative designed to improve the outcomes of police interactions with people living with mental illness. CIT was started in Memphis, Tennessee in 1988 and was brought to Wisconsin in 2004 by the Appleton Police Department. It has now spread across the state of Wisconsin. CIT is a nationally and internationally recognized training program for law enforcement officers and includes a 40-hour training curriculum on how to respond to people experiencing mental health crises.
I'm Mike Steffes. I'm the Chief of Police in the City of Sun Prairie. It's a 40-hour course that provides them with the skills to be able to work with a very complex call for service that every officer encounters regularly, and that's working with mental health consumer in need and possibly in crisis.
In the CIT training, officers learn about the following topics taught by experts from their community. The training starts with a mental illness overview, which provides a foundation for the different types of mental health conditions, their symptoms, and treatment options. The training also focuses on mental health in specific populations and the differences that officers should be aware of to support their whole community. Participants will also learn about medically significant behavior, including education on situations that may look like mental health crises but are actually physical in nature. A panel of individuals and family members that have lived experience with mental illness and/or substance use disorder will share their experiences of what happened and what helped them get to a point of recovery.
My name is Suzanne Vella. I am the CIT coordinator at NAMI Southeast Wisconsin. I have been doing CIT coordination since, I would say, probably June of 2018. I think most importantly is really the difference in empathy. We do the lived experience stories. We have an opportunity throughout the week to talk to a lot of people who are either living with mental illness or serving those living with mental illness, and the increase in empathy makes a really huge difference.
Officers will also have an opportunity to go on site visits in their community to visit with local mental health and substance use treatment agencies to familiarize themselves with resources and to strengthen community connections. Participants will go through a hearing voices simulation that simulates what it is like to have auditory hallucinations and to provide understanding and empathy for those who experience them. Then, officers will learn about trauma-informed care and how traumatic experiences impact the body's psychological and biological systems. The training also covers officer wellness and the importance of self-care for officers and their families.
I think getting the training and understanding that it's important that officers take care of themselves, not just the people that we serve. I think officers are very good at helping everyone else and not so much looking inward and realizing when things are going on. I'm so glad to see departments have really encouraged their officers to take care of themselves as far as the mental well-being, not just the physical well-being. So that's something that I give a lot of credit towards NAMI and CIT, and the fact that we do strive to make sure that officer wellness is a big part of our CIT training.
Officers will learn the importance of suicide prevention, including how to talk to and directly question someone in crisis to determine if they are experiencing suicidal ideation. Officers gain the skills necessary to determine next steps in a crisis. And of course, the training will go into verbal de-escalation techniques, which include role-play de-escalation scenarios. These scenarios address strategies and techniques for de-escalating a crisis situation and bringing the crisis to a safe and effective resolution for the officer, the individual in crisis, and their family.
I'm Christy Knowles. I am the Sheriff of Ozaukee County, and we have been training CIT for the past almost 10 years now. In law enforcement, you think about the tools on your belt that you have. You got your firearm, you got your OC spray, your baton, different things, your taser. It was a different take on the way we respond to things. We have to use our voice. We have to be able to talk people down, slow things down. And it's just given permission for the deputies to take their time on something versus going from one call and now we've got the next one. So it really has changed the way we police at the sheriff's office.
So this is the type of training that I say come in with an open mind. It's not always going to be what you think. We've got hands-on activities and exercises, scenarios that we put you through. And what it does is it should sharpen your mind to say that not everything is always black and white, that there are some other underlying things that you may not necessarily know because they're not going to tell you, but your training should say, hey, this seems like this. And that gives you the opportunity to ask that question. And maybe, just maybe, that's the difference between saving someone's life or not. And that's all we could ever ask for as law enforcement.
Additional training topics are included to fit the training needs of the community. NAMI Wisconsin's CIT training program and curriculum received the Gold Standard certification from CIT International in 2022. CIT is not just a training, but rather a program that forms local partnerships between law enforcement, mental health professionals, local NAMI affiliates, county services, and other community stakeholders.
I think learning mental health is extremely important to be able to understand it from the consumer standpoint, so you can have that empathy and that compassion. But even more so for putting CIT into practice is the community partnerships. It provides the best long-term approach to ensure that the consumer is stabilized and not just removed from crisis.
Many officers who have been certified in the CIT program have indicated that this training has helped them to better respond to mental health calls in the field.
People that we deal with out on the street or in a call-to-call basis, they recognize that CIT pin. And seeing that, they look at them in a higher authority almost, you know, oh, you've been trained, you know what you're talking about, so I want to pay attention to you and speak to you. And it gives the officers a sense of responsibility, like I've been through this specialized training, so let me try and help you the best way I can.
Departments have also found this training to be helpful in making officers aware of community resources that they can connect civilians with.
They take away a feeling of it's not us and them, but it's law enforcement in partnership with those who are providing services to those living with mental illness.
It's not just law enforcement that can solve this problem of mental health. It's really getting all the stakeholders and all the people in the community together to help move forward, break the stigma.
CIT trainings help to establish a network of support for officers and civilians within their communities.
The best part about it is that CIT training is free. Now, obviously, there's still going to be a cost to the department, and I understand the financial aspect of that from my role I had previously. I also know that we're really shorthanded. The good thing is there's some funding opportunities to help offset some of those costs.
There are many CIT teams in Wisconsin that plan and host CIT trainings in their communities. These training courses are often available for officers from surrounding counties to attend, and backfill, overtime, and travel reimbursement grants are available upon request through NAMI Wisconsin.
Definitely sign up for the course and take the course. It's going to prepare you to best help respond to the mental health calls. No matter what we're doing, the mental health consumers are going to continue to be in our communities. And this is going to help you be able to advocate for them and assist them when they're in crisis.
If you're interested in attending a CIT training or bringing CIT to your department, please contact us at cit@namiwisconsin.org or by calling 608-268-6000. You can also visit namiwisconsin.org for more information. Thank you.